yes, people, we've got a special guest in the studios with us here this morning. And I've got to say good morning to Sherman de Vries. Good morning, Sherman.
Good morning, everyone.
How are you today?
Fine, thank you. And you? How's you doing?
I'm very good. I just want you to come over a little bit more, a little bit more. Yes, like that now.
Yes.
Well, you know, Sherman is a young man from St.Maarten, and of course, he's musically inclined. So, Sherman, tell us more about yourself so the people that don't know who you are can come to know who you are.
So, well, my name is Sherman de Vries. I was born in St.Maarten.
Mm-hmm.
I live now 17 years in the Netherlands.
Okay.
But I'm often between St.Maarten and the Netherlands. I'm doing music about 18 years now.
Wow.
So I do music production, mixing and mastering. I run a studio in Holland.
Okay.
I do songwriting, coming up with the melodies of the track. And I've produced a lot of top tracks for Sean Paul, Juicy J, Egyptian.
Oh, wow.
Did stuff with Juicy J as well, with Egyptian, with who else? We have so many names, Vibes Cartel.
Oh.
So a lot of artists from Jamaica to Europe to the US. So yeah, ever since it's just been non-stop going. And now, so back then, about 10 years ago, my name was Ice. Everybody knew me as Ice.
Correct.
In St.Maarten.
Correct.
And the change happened about 3 or 4 years now, where I transitioned back to my original name, Sherman de Vries.
And why was that? Because, as artists, we go through different things. I think about Prince. I mean, how many names did he have?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Correct.
The artist, Prince, just the symbol and all of that.
Yeah.
So what made you change, from Ice to your full name, Sherman de Vries?
So basically, this was about 4 years ago.
Uh-huh.
I was in St.Maarten listening to radio. One of the radio stations, they were playing a lot in that time house music, deep house.
Yes.
And I was really in love with the deep house.
Yeah, I like deep house too. I love it.
So I started dabbling into deep house, creating deep house.
Oh, okay.
But I would still with Caribbean influence. And I'm like, Ice, and especially now releasing music in the Netherlands on different labels like Sony or Magic Records, different labels in New York, Miami. So I'm like, let me just, you have Armin van Buren, Martin Garrix, all these names. So I'm like, to have a good branding name.
Right.
Let me just use my name.
Correct.
And grow from there, because there's no other Sherman de Vries that I saw on internet.
No. But
Ice-T, Ice Cube,
yes,
Ice this,
correct.
So it's hard to brand that name. So for me, it was much easier to transition and then dive into the deep house. So within the first 2 months, when I created my first deep house, it got signed automatically, instantly with Magic Records in New York.
Oh, wow.
And in 3 months or 2 months, we reached 1 million streams on Spotify, and that's where my career started.
That's the thing. You said something very interesting for branding purposes and marketing of your name, and it's true. When you look at those big mega DJs, Calvin Harris, Bob Sinclair, they're all carrying their names, and I think it's a great marketing tool for you. As a music professional, I think it's very important that you combine the business aspect. Maybe you want to talk about that a little bit more, because a lot of creatives or musicians, they forget they can make music, but they forget, that business side. Let's talk about that a little more.
So basically, this was about 2009. I went to Holland to further my career in music production and in business.
Okay.
So I studied in the Netherlands. I went to HBO University.
Okay.
For the music business as well. So I could have understand how the business works in the music industry in Holland, in Europe in general, to understand how does publishing work, how does publishing admin works, royalties, these kind of things, So it's very important to, get that information and knowledge on how do you sign up for a publishing agency like ASCAP or BMI, how do you get your performance rights, your songwriting credits, all these royalties.
Of course, because if you're going to step into the music business, you want to do it correctly. correctly.
You don't want anyone playing your business. Because there's a lot of managers or people who's like,
oh yes, we were talking about that to another friend in the media, and you were talking about how important that is.
Correct. Yeah, it's very important that you have your credits which you work hard for, because you are the creative.
Of course.
Yeah, it's very important that you also have a label behind your music. So, I mean, you can, a lot of people now releasing independent, but it's like a hit or miss, because you have to, have that social media presence, have a certain fan base to kick off. Because when you release your music, someone have to listen to it.
Of course.
So you have to have that spark, that ignition started. And what these labels does is they put money behind your record. So if you're upcoming or new and they believe in your talent, they put a budget behind the record. So this budget goes into TikTok ads, Instagram, YouTube, influencers.
Because you want to, market your brand. And if they are going to invest in you, they want to make sure that you're doing well. And they want to get return on investment. Of course.
So it's also important that you look at what these labels are asking back. Because a lot of times the bigger labels, they're asking for like 70-80% of your song.
Wow. But that's kind of terrible though, because
I even heard,
I mean, you're the creative. Okay, but I understand that they're putting a lot of money into you. But why would you want to take away something from someone? Or you would that say like 60-40 or 50-50 or something like that. But to say, I want everything. You're being greedy. I mean, and that's what I noticed too, that a lot of artists are having trouble now because they're fighting these big record companies to have ownership of their own songs. It's
their
terrible.
Own masters,
It's terrible.
And you can never fight these big labels because
they got the money.
They have the money, the lawyers, everything, and
I mean, I think Taylor Swift just went through that whole thing, but she won. She won. Yes, she
and
did.
she has money too, so she can fight them.
Yes.
But if you're an independent artist and you're already signed, it's going to be difficult to
for sure. And if you're really like a novice in the business and you don't know well, you'll be overwhelmed and how these big labels can take advantage of you.
And it happens a lot.
Yes, unfortunately.
I see it all the time. So the labels I really go for is the labels that does it fair, which is 50-50.
Okay.
To me, that's a fair deal. The first label that which is Selected, I don't know if you know the song Medusa. How does it go? It's a big record that they have. A few records that they did with Medusa and I think Martin Garrix. It's a big label.
Okay.
But they are like, okay, so you have no name yet. You don't have a fan base, so we have to take 90%.
Oh my goodness.
And I'm like, no.
90%. But you're strong in your shoes though, that you could say like, oh my God, even though it's a big opportunity for you.
Correct.
It's like, what? 90% of my, intellectual property, creativity?
Correct.
Come on. No, man.
Working hard. Imagine you're working half a piece of land or somebody say, hey, that's mine. 10% go live in a corner in a cardboard box.
Exactly. And I'm going to take all the royalties.
All your royalties.
No.
And then it becomes, hey, they make way more money on top of your songs.
Yes.
So
and then you just get a little pocket change. And no, that's not fair. No. But I think the narrative is starting to change, where artists are starting to come up for themselves, standing up, and some of them are doing the independent thing and just releasing it on Spotify and iTunes and all that stuff, taking the risk of, hey, how I'm going to do it for myself.
And I think doing it independent is the way to go now, because that's how the labels are losing out. So now they actually coming with better deals.
Of course.
They have to come now with
because
the correct.
They want a piece of the pie.
So a lot of indie artists now, they're so huge on Spotify, on TikTok, that they don't use labels anymore.
Yes, I know.
So
I think like Benson Boone, I think he's one of them. He went on I think it's American Idol he was on, and then he was like, I'm leaving here, and then he started doing his own thing, and now look at him.
Huge artist, So a lot of that happening right now, even with the Afrobeats artists. And they're blowing up. They're making a lot of money. They own 100% of the rights. They're making all their money.
Very good.
Paid out to their teams. You do what you want with your funding now. So Yeah, the labels, they're missing out, and of course they're trying to get at you with all these offers. Like every day in my email,
full.
At least at least 1-2 emails per day on different labels with different deals. We want to give you this, do that. I had labels come to me, they want to buy me a house, give me a car, this and that. And I don't, you can't buy me out with these things. You can't buy me out, because from time you do that, you sell out yourself.
That's a very, very interesting point. Creatives is something that comes from inside you, and I think it's very important that you have the courage, number one, because you can be very intimidated by these big mega labels. Correct. I mean, if Sony coming at you, you're like, what? Like what? Like Sony, like, oh my,
Michael Jackson, all these people was on the label.
Exactly. So you get kind of intimidated, but you gotta have a strong back.
You have to have a strong back, because I know a lot of people are signed with Sony and they're not nowhere.
Yes.
They're struggling. They can't even buy bread. They get a little money up front. It's unfortunate. They get some kind of money up front, but then they blow it, and now they have to pay it back.
Yes.
Because the advance you have to pay back.
For sure, sure.
And if you're not making hits, you're not making any records to make the money back,
then you're in a hole.
You're in a hole.
In a big hole.
A big hole.
Well, Sherman, I mean, like you said, you've worked with several different labels and making music. What inspires you, or where do you, pull your inspiration from to come up with your beats and stuff like that?
That just comes from me, like, living my life as if I travel a lot, like really often. I haven't been back to home for like 9 months.
Oh, wow.
Just traveling Miami, New York, here, there, Puerto Rico, Trinidad.
Wow.
And then Egypt, Dubai, all these places keep moving and networking and growing. And
you do this out of yourself, or you got invitations from people that say, come over, we want to collaborate with you? Or?
Yeah, a lot of times I have, I do it out of myself just to build my own vibes.
Understood.
And a lot of times I have people inviting me. So let's say someone invite me about 2 years, like, hey, now I'm here in your country. And then perhaps I reach out and we link up, we hit the studio and we make something happen. But a lot of times I like to explore different countries, new countries I've never been to.
So you like traveling too?
I love traveling
too.
Yeah, I love traveling and trying different cultures, different foods, different music. So a lot of times you hear in my songs different influence of, could have a little Afrobeat, some Indian stuff, or it could be anything, Caribbean, because Caribbean is a melting pot. We have different, we have different sounds. It's not one sound we have. We have Spanish, we have Indians, Africans, everything. So, coming from the island was always a strong point for me in the outside world, because I could have always easily blend in with every
Correct.
culture.
Is how we grew up in St.Maarten, and I know that a lot of families are mixed, mixed up. So, we get a little bit of everything, and I think you take that with you wherever you go, and like you said, you can adapt to different places, situations, because you didn't grow up in just one type of culture.
Yeah, because you hear a lot of times St.Maarteners complain, man, we're in a small rock, small this, small that, but you're blessed to be here, because
that's so true.
You're really blessed. I have to say you're blessed being here, because when you go in school, you have a Chinese boy next to you, you have the Indian next to you, you have so much different cultures.
That's right.
Sometimes I go in by my Indian friend and trying different foods too. So now when you go China, you already had a little introduction to the Chinese family, for example.
I don't think they got satay potato in China though.
No, they got no satay potato. But I went to this Chinese boy's house, and they don't eat like how they eat in a restaurant.
No.
They eat in the white rice with the green tea.
Yes.
And I ate at his house, his actual family home, with that type of stuff. So
no, but you're absolutely right. The food that you get in a restaurant, because sometimes you go to Chinese restaurants and then you see them bringing out their food for themselves, and like, wait a minute, their food is different to what's on the menu right there.
Yes, they're real healthy. All the greens coming out, and but the Chinese food that they have here, I think is more modern. In Crusoe, they have it too, satay kubotata.
Yes.
Things,
so Sherman, as a producer, right? Producer, music music enthusiast, you want to collaborate with different artists. Who would you want to collaborate right now with in this, genre of music, whether it's Afro beats, hip hop, Latin, reggaeton? Who you would like to collaborate with?
Right now, that's a good question.
so many. What about Korean? K-pop is big now.
Yeah, K-pop is
huge.
Very big.
Very big.
Collab with, that's a good question.
Nobody off the top of your mind.
Because a lot of the time, the people I always wanted to work with, I already did. Like, Sean Paul.
Yes.
Vybz Kartel. We have a couple tracks out. I had Egyptian on a rank. Like, these was artists that I grew up with, that I was fans of. Like, I would love to work with Egyptian.
Yes.
Or this and that. I Octane. And I'm like, these are all people I already, produce for and I'm making royalties with right now. So
okay.
I'm like, after that, it was like, when you hit
you
that
reach a
goal,
certain standard, yes.
Just like how you explained with the radio, you reach such a high level in your career. Is like, what's next?
What's next? Correct.
So that's why for me now, Sherman de Vries was next. Where it's like, no, I started DJing because I'm always producing tracks for years, and now I started DJing about a year and a half, 2 years now.
Oh, you DJ too?
I just started DJing. Yeah. So,
so you're taking the music from a different standpoint.
Standpoint, but also it's a powerful thing to do where like you're making music and you're playing it for the people.
Correct. So you produce then your own type of beats,
music,
and then you mix it with different songs of various artists, and that's pretty creative.
Yeah, and then that's the leverage I have because now I'm getting booked. I played in Morocco.
Okay.
I played in different places in France, Nice, Monaco. So I played all these places, and I always blended with my own sound.
Okay,
with
understood.
my own style of music. So.
But who taught you to be a DJ? I mean, did you learn it yourself or YouTube and you let me learn some little
and I have a cousin
mixing board and whatnot because it's not an easy art being a DJ.
It's not. In the beginning, the thing is, once you're creating beats, it's BPM, beats per minute. So once you have timing on point,
yes,
you will know how to mix a record to record.
Understood.
So as a producer, it was a little easier for me than the regular because I'm already BPMing with the beats, making drums, clap sounds. So mixing in the track wasn't that difficult, but just the little techniques of scratching and all these things that's very difficult. That's a whole different craft on its own, But when it comes to mixing tracks, I'm really good at mixing tracks, and choosing the right sound is important because you could scratch with all these fancy things, but you have to be able to move the crowd.
But that's the thing, and then you move the crowd. You want to scratch and then you make a mistake. And it's like, hey, what's going on, Sherman?
Yeah, so I don't really scratch like that and stuff. I just more mixing tracks, playing for the crowd.
Yes,
I
understood. You want to see the interaction, the people dancing,
fun,
hands in the air, all that kind of stuff.
Yes.
Understood.
So DJing, I have a cousin named Mark the Bandit, which a lot of DJs know. He grew up here in St.Maarten. Now he lives in Den Haag, but he was always with Jack the Hot One. Outcast know him very well and stuff. He's an older school. Now he's in his 50s.
Okay.
And I grew up around him, seeing him DJing his whole life. My whole life growing up, I'm like, wow, he's scratching on the vinyl records. And
wow. Old school. On vinyl.
Vinyl records, yeah. So, from there I used to go by his house, and then he always
give you some tips and tricks.
And then I load up my own songs and just created my own sound from there. Like, okay, this is how you do it. Now let me just find my own sound, my own taste to it,
So now, of course, you have the Sherman de Vries sound, or you gave it a special name, or the de Vries mix, or what we can understand when you hear that you said you gave it your own sound. Does it have a name? Did you brand that already? Or
well, you have a mix like, I don't know if you know Mumbaton. Dembow, reggaeton.
Yes, reggaeton, dembow music, yes.
But then they have a genre called Mumbaton.
Oh, I have never heard that one before.
Mumbaton, really nice. It's a bubbling kind of like, it's like dembow, reggaeton, but they have more bass line, driven by bass line.
I learned something today.
Yeah.
Mumbaton. I gotta Google that.
Yeah.
I gotta Google that sound.
You might fall in love. You might be like, wow.
I like reggaeton too.
Yeah, if you like reggaeton, I like reggaeton.
Yeah,
it's in that category. but a little more bass driven with kicks and drums, and I love that. And then you have something called bass hall, which is produced by, well, he invented that genre, which is Kiba. He's a good friend of mine. He's Italian but lives in Amsterdam as well.
Okay.
And he's now huge as a DJ. He grew. It's
he just
crazy
blew up.
how he just blew up on the socials. When I was following him, he had like maybe 1,000 followers. Now he's at 1 million, 1 point something million, you know. And he started a label called Bass Hall Records. I released also on his label, and his Bass Hall is his thing. And we always been in the studio, you know, in Amsterdam, and now he's huge. He's on tour every single day in Colombia, Venezuela, Dubai, Mexico. He's all over the place.
Now you said with your brand Sherman de Vries, you travel a lot and you do a lot of social media as well. Tell me the correlation and how important it is for you to leave that digital stamp for you as a creative in this industry.
Yeah, it's very, very important that you have that stamp, because people will only recognize you by what you do, what you create, and that's the legacy you leave behind.
It's true. Very true.
So I think, like, even, for example, that song that's now blowing up, which is Lost in Trinbago.
Yes.
That's a perfect example of what the sound is that I'm, creating. It's not your typical soca. It has a different. People call it Ibiza soca.
Soca.
Yeah, people call it Ibiza soca. Somebody says house music in Trinidad. I'm like, house music? That's not house music. No. That's far from house music, you know. But a lot of people, they're in love with it because it's not the typical same soca rhythm. No. Very commercial. You know, you heard a song Lost in Trinbago?
Are you kidding me? Yeah. Are you kidding? Wait. I made some reels with that song.
Oh, yeah, you did. My bad. Sorry. Yeah,
but let's talk about that. How did that collaboration come along? Because, you like you said, you're a producer and then you hooked up with these local artists in Trinidad. Tell us about that.
So basically, the artist Zebi, he came to my house in Amsterdam. This was about 3 years now, or 2 years ago.
Okay.
But he stayed 6 months, so we were working on an album together. Because I flew him in. I'm like, bro, he has so much talent. I saw the potential. I'm like, bro, I'm gonna fly you in. Let's do an album together. You stay by my house. We have a studio, everything. So he came in. And we did a R&B dancehall album.
Yes.
Right? So from there now, I'm like, okay. Then he went back. We pitched the album to different labels. We get different deals coming in. And we still haven't released it, but we're just still finding the best deal for it. And in the meantime, I had a Melanade. I don't know if you know Melanade. That's a party I began about 2 years also in Rotterdam, Amsterdam. It's all over in Holland. And so we had Outcasts already came up. But most of the St.Maarten DJs, I fly them up. Yeah, and then have them, shine. Our last show, we had about 4,000 people.
Oh, my goodness.
So it's a really big party, and we about to get back starting this year on it. But either way, so I was coming home from a Melanade party, and in my head I was just hearing
tunes and beats
and coming home. And I'm like inspired, And every year I always go on the cruise, which is Epic
the Soca Cruise.
Correct, the Soca Cruise. And they always been asking like, hey, you should do an anthem for us. And I'm like, yeah, but I have to figure out how I would do this cruise anthem. But in the meantime, this in my head, So I'm like, okay.
So something just came in your head, like,
yeah, on the train.
Okay.
Yeah, so from there now, I actually had I'm Lost in St.Maarten first.
I ain't saying nothing. No comment. No comment.
When the plane we was talking about that. But then I'm like, if I do that, how far I would actually go? Be real about that. Like if we do I'm Lost in St.Maarten, how far? Music have a limit. I don't know what it is. Like when you do something on the island, your own locals not pushing it. your own locals not supporting it. I have to be real about that too.
Sing it, say it hard, say it hard.
Like you see what Trinidad doing with our song? That's locals taking it all over the place.
I've heard, something, Sherman, I've heard that said so much.
Being real about
our creative singers, songwriters, painters, whatever, they always say you need to leave your own country, be appreciated by people on the outside before you can, that's our own. You got to blow up on the outside, then people realize like,
then they recognize
that's who you are. You from St.Maarten. It's unfortunate.
It is.
I hear it all the time.
All the time. And if you ask anyone who's in music, like they're preaching the same story. So I'm like, I could do it, but then I want to take it on a bigger scale.
Understood.
So marketing strategy wise, I'm like, let's aim for the motherland where soca was born, Trinidad. And
they have like a huge carnival. Trinidad is known for the carnival, and their big soca artists. So many big soca artists have come from there.
Yes.
Understood.
And you have about 1.some million people living there. Like St.Maarten, how many people we have here? Like
40,000.
Right?
I think
so.
Registered.
If you have that on view, let's convert that to YouTube views. That's maybe $2-3. So either ways.
So it was a strategic.
It's a strategic move. Yes.
Understood.
Because I can always make I'm Lost in St.Maarten version once it blows up.
Understood.
You
can piggyback off of that.
Correct. And then put the island on a different scale now, because now they already know the song. And Trinidadians don't support outsiders like that, just to be honest with you. And that's the real fact. That's why we had to get different Trinidadians on the song, because if I would put a St.Maarten on it and try to pitch it in Trinidad, that it would just drown in a second.
Understood.
This is what the labels was telling me. So
at least you did your research.
Yes,
and
definitely.
I mean the song is really popular and has a lot of streams now as well. And it's also like a ambassador song for the flight route from St.Maarten to Winair.
Yes. And also the song been top 20 on its first month in Trinidad.
Wow.
Top 20 in
amazing. Congratulations to you.
Thank you very much. And in New York, we're now charting on the reggae. I don't know why reggae charts, but we're on the reggae.
Well,
Caribbean.
it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
It's getting airplay. And that's the most important thing. And a lot of people recognize songs because they hear it on the radio, and also now on Spotify, iTunes, all those, streaming platforms. And that's where people are hearing the songs.
That's definitely true. So then basically now, from the idea, I'm like, okay, who should I put on? Marshall Montano, Dave Cass, big names. But I'm like, wait, but I already work with Xavier. This guy, he's upcoming. He's very talented. Let me put something, somebody new in the game. And I showed Trinidad I would appreciate a new upcoming artist.
For sure.
That's exactly what happened. So then I had Zebi on board, and Zebi was I didn't want it only a male. I wanted a female as well.
Like a combination.
It had to be real patriotic sound. A song for Trinidad and Tobago. Proud, they're proud to be from home.
I know.
So I'm like, okay, let's see. So Zebi then came with Patrice Roberts and Nyla Blackman.
They're big names.
But I'm like, okay, Zebi, you're still upcoming. I think we should find someone that's also upcoming like you, but still on the grind, in Trinidad. So then came to my mind, I'm like, we should go with Mila Caribe, because me and Mila always thought that. So basically, Mila Caribe is a Private Ryan artist.
Yes.
Who owns Soca Brainwash.
Yes.
And she's under Monk Music, which is
Marshall's label. Correct.
So it all makes sense, because the song I wanted to release on Marshall label in Trinidad, which is Monk Music. So having his artist already, it was a done deal.
It was an easy decision. But when we went to Trinidad on the inaugural trip with Winair, of course, that was such an experience. My goodness, the reception, the excitement of it all, and, flying on the ATR. We had so much fun on the plane, doing all kinds of cute stuff. And once we were there, you also performed the song live.
Right.
The artist, Zebi and Mila Caribe, they performed the song live. And it was a great reception as well.
It was definitely a great reception. And now, because of the song, which I'm very happy about, they're getting a lot of paid gigs. They're doing shows.
Wonderful.
They're performing next to Marshall on his concerts. They're now performing with Cass. So it opened doors for them. And
But then also it's good for you because
Yes, correct.
you are the person that created the song, and you're working with these upcoming artists, opening doors, but it's also opening doors for you, and maybe down the line too, you get more collaborations, like that. That's amazing.
Yeah, it is, and I'm happy that there's new artists. Not that it's artists that people hearing for the past 20 years, but fresh sound, something new, totally fresh.
For sure, because it has to keep on moving. It has to keep on developing and stuff like that. So what's next for Sherman de Vries?
Well, from here now, next week, Gospel Life should be on the cruise.
Okay.
On the Epic Cruise. And then I have a lot of DJ gigs coming in Trinidad now.
Nice. And Carnival is around the corner in Trinidad, no?
Yeah, this weekend already.
Yes, it's kicking
today's
off.
What, Thursday? Then it's already Saturday, Sunday. Yeah,
it's kicking off.
Now. Yeah.
Correct.
So I'll be down there doing the gigs, and then the next party, Melanade, we're looking at end of May in Rotterdam. So a lot of things coming up.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of things. But the song, we don't want to work on anything yet, but we just want to keep riding this wave
for sure,
because it's just now about 2 months that we released, so there's still remixes. We're about to drop the road mix Friday.
Okay.
So road mix is a mix that people go with for the whole carnival season.
Understood.
Yeah. So the DJs will be playing a lot of the road mixes, the mashups. So yeah, a lot of different. We have an acoustic version coming out from St. Trinbago. So
nice.
Different things. Yeah.
Well, congratulations to you, and to close it off, any inspiring words that you want to leave creatives with, or just our audience tuning in?
Yeah, to all my St.Maarten creatives artists out there, don't lose your dreams, your hope, because you're in a blessed island. This is leverage you have compared to everybody else outside the world. You know exactly where you're at. You have different sound, different style, different taste. So take it out there with you. And branding. Branding, yes. Find the right name, the right image, and you become very successful. Just keep pushing, keep writing, keep being inspired. And we're looking forward to hear.
Well, thank you so much, Sherman de Vries. And we're going to close it off with his song, Lost in Trinbago.
I'm lost in Trinbago.